Yeah, so just this morning, let's start with this one, the most newsworthy as it is the most recent. The Giants are hiring former Bears head coach and former Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy to be their new offensive coordinator. He's John Harbaugh's big hire here of the last few days. And what do you think of it? You think it works? Feels like the reception has been less than warm for Nagy so far in New York.
I'll say this. I don't understand why Matt Nagy's PR team is so bad. Like, I get it. It was not great with the Bears, but it wasn't quite like Mark Trestman. Like, it was bad. It was not an overt disaster. And Mitch Trubisky did play well enough to make a Pro Bowl, which is part of the reason why we stopped caring about Pro Bowls. But the fact remains, he was able to organize that offense to a double-digit win season with Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback. Obviously, he's not the play caller in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes being behind the wheel and Andy Reid being the guy that's, driving the car there. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, the gas pedal to that offense. But a guy like, he's been in the room with Andy Reid for the last however long. He had his own shot, failed at that, and probably had a lot to do with his quarterback's inability. And he's honestly still had an ability to get to double-digit wins. It's not something that super impresses me. I would not want Matt Nagy I wouldn't want to be his second head coaching shot. But Matt Nagy as offensive coordinator under John Harbaugh, I feel good about, because John Harbaugh is going to have an established plan of what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, and how it's supposed to look, as a true CEO head coach should. So it's going to be about Matt Nagy being able to implement John Harbaugh's view of offense. I feel like he should be okay at that.
I'm with you. I've actually been really surprised to see how negative the response has been to the fact that he's, and again, it's just been a few hours. It was this morning that it was announced, but it feels like everyone's just kind of overwhelmingly negative on this, when Matt Nagy's actually been a pretty successful offensive coordinator in this league under Andy Reid, yes, and he wasn't the play caller these last few years for the Chiefs. Last time we saw him as a play caller was for the Bears. Like you said, he helped Mitch Trubisky to a Pro Bowl. It was really Justin Fields and, him who ended up not being a great match, and obviously not a good head coach. Like, we came to that conclusion. I'm not making any, Justin Fields excuse there, but I'm just saying in terms of him as a play caller, we have seen him succeed and we've seen him fail at it. One such time that we saw him fail was with Justin Fields as his quarterback, a guy who we kind of know at this point isn't really a viable option as an NFL quarterback, and he was able to, get some sort of results out of him there. And Nagy himself, last few years with the Chiefs, they've been good. Obviously, last year was an exception, but the whole franchise took a step back last year. It wasn't just him. It wasn't just Mahomes. It was Andy Reid, all of them. So, yeah, I actually like this. And like you said, John Harbaugh, true CEO-style head coach. So he's a guy where the offensive coordinator hire is really, really important. So for a guy who was getting head coach hires this cycle, right or wrong, you need that ilk of a guy to be your offensive coordinator, the head coach of your offense. It's a good guy to have.
And I also think, too, when you're dealing with a guy like Jackson Dart, maybe Matt. Okay, so I kind of disagree. I think Justin Fields had a little more in the tank than he does. I mean, at the time, when Chicago, right? Is Justin Fields a starting NFL quarterback for 17 games? Probably not. However, I kind of felt that if you dressed it up like the way Pittsburgh did, you could win more games than you lose with him, right? Sort of like Bryce Young. I don't think Bryce Young is a starting level NFL caliber quarterback, but if you draw it up around him the right way, he can win a few more games than he loses. But I don't want either one of these guys on a second contract. If you can't make that guy work, okay, I get it. But Jackson Dart, to me, should be able to drop back pass in the way that Justin Fields wasn't. And Matt Nagy wasn't running Justin Fields enough. He wanted him to drop back pass. It seems to be a little bit of a kind of a match made in heaven. Let's talk, or I shouldn't say a match made in heaven, but it could be a match made in heaven. Down the line, we could look at this and be like, this really works very, very well. I'm higher on that than I am on the next hire that you're about to talk about.